Hello friends, today we are going to talk about the salient feature of the proposed scheme of education and training. As you know, the institute is going to revise your entire CA curriculum, the structure of the exam, the articleship, etc. So we are going to discuss this. You can find this proposed scheme in the ICAI website under announcement. So one by one we will see what was the need to change the scheme of education. Normally after every 3-4 years the institute revises the educational scheme for the CA students. This time the idea is to bring our curriculum in line with the international curriculum. So the some of the changes that they have made, like introducing soft skills, information technology training, self-paced module, those are in line with the international requirement. So like the earlier scheme, there is no change in the basic structure. Remember, the basic structure is still the same. There will be 3 levels: foundation, intermediate and final. However, there is a direct entry route also. So in that case, the direct entry route people can only appear for intermediate and final. One major change that has happened is in the number of paper for intermediate and CA final. In the intermediate, now there will be good news, 6 papers only instead of 8 papers. Foundation continues to have 4 papers, and one of the major changes, it has never happened in last so many decades. For the first time I am seeing the number of papers in CA final has been reduced from 8 to 6. So that is, you can say, one of the biggest changes of this curriculum. They are trying to reduce the load of the student by reducing the number of papers for intermediate and final. And this ethics and information technology would be integrated with the curriculum of the subjects at the final level. So those who don't like to study EIS, good news for them that EIS has been removed from intermediate. Very good. Dance, enjoy. Okay, and maybe some portion of final syllabus may have some discussion about EIS. What is the another important change which has happened, which I am going to now show you? It is the introduction of self-paced online module. This is altogether a new thing. So this will be applicable at final level. You will have to pass 4 self-paced online module. On your own you have to study and you have to appear for the exam online, but the marks will not be counted for the final evaluation. But unless you pass this self-paced online module, you will not be allowed to appear for the exam. So this is like a control over you, that before you appear for the final exam, you have to pass this 4 self-paced module. You can study at your own pace, you can appear anytime, but for appearing for final exam, you need to pass this. Once you register for foundation, your registration is valid for 4 years, but for intermediate, your registration is valid for 5 years. After that, one time revalidation will be allowed, and if you register for final, it is valid for 10 years. Institute also knows it takes almost a decade for a student to pass the exam, and not only that, revalidation is also allowed one time after that. So what would be the pattern of assessment? So this time from foundation till final, it will be a combo of subjective and objective. In case of foundation, 2 subjects will be objective, 2 subjects will be subjective. Intermediate examination will be a completely closed book exam. That means you have to by heart remember things, and like the current system, you have to go and appear for the exam. 30% would be MCQ, 70% would be descriptive, and in MCQ there would be negative marking also, 0.25 negative mark. Okay, right now you are enjoying, there is no negative marking, but in the proposed scheme there would be negative marking at final level. Because the syllabus is very vast, Students find it very difficult to remember so many provisions of the law, the taxation and financial reporting, etc. It will be in two modes: open book for some papers and restricted open book for certain papers. But which paper will go under open book and which paper under restricted open book, they have not yet clarified. And what is the meaning of restricted open book, that also is not clarified. Final paper in all papers, intermediate and final all papers, 30% would be MCQ and 70% would be descriptive. So before you appear for foundation exam, you have to complete 4 months of study period, and you can appear for foundation exam only after passing the 12th standard. Okay, you can enroll after 10th standard, but you can appear after 12th standard after completing 4 months of study. Intermediate exam, you can pass the foundation exam, complete 8 months of study, and then you can appear for intermediate exam. Or those who are graduates or those who are in the last year of graduation, very important, even if you are in the last year of graduation, you can enroll for intermediate, complete 8 months of study, and you can appear for the intermediate exam. But for appearing for final exam, listen to me carefully, there are certain changes. First requirement is like the current requirement, you have to pass in both the groups of intermediate. All of you know that. Practical training, that is articleship. This is one of the biggest changes in the last so many decades. The articleship period is reduced from, enjoy, from 3 years to 2 years. But first you will have to complete the 2 years of articleship, and then only you are allowed to appear for the exam. In addition to passing intermediate 2 years of articleship, you have to complete 4 self-paced study module, which I have told you. You have to study on your own and you have to appear for the exam. Plus you have to also complete the management and communication skill and advanced ITT second level. First level will be after intermediate, and second level you have to complete before appearing for the CA final exam. So if you don't complete this, you will not be eligible for appearing for CA final exam. And the next requirement is, after completing your articleship, there has to be a gap of at least 6 months before you can take the final exam. Okay, so practical training for 2 years plus 6 months, then only you can appear for the exam. So during practical training, you can concentrate fully on practical training, and in the last 6 months after practical training, you are completely free. You can study for 6 months and you can appear for the exam anytime that you want. Okay, of course during your articleship also you have to study, but during your articleship you have to complete those 4 self-paced study module and that management communication course and advanced ITT also. But you can appear for this communication course and advanced ITT even after your articleship, anytime you appear. But unless you complete that, you are not eligible to appear for CA final exam. Now foundation student, please listen. Right now the situation is you need to get minimum 40% marks in each paper and average 50% mark. But in the proposed scheme, you have to get minimum 50% in each paper. Okay, and in MCQ there will be negative marking, 0.25 negative marking for wrong answer. So you can't use guesswork, you have to really be careful. The examination passing for intermediate is almost same like the current system, minimum 40% and aggregate on an average 50% you have to get. For MCQ you will be given 0.25 negative mark. But there is a change in the exemption pattern. Listen to me carefully. Change in exemption scheme. First, if you get more than 60 marks in any paper, your exemption will be valid for 3 attempts. Then what happens if you don't pass in 3 attempts? If you don't pass in 3 attempts, your exemption will continue, but for the remaining papers, you have to get minimum 50 marks. In the first 3 attempts, your average will be 50%. So in some paper, if you get 40, but your aggregate comes to 50%, including that exemption paper, you will be declared pass, but in the first 3 attempts only. But after 3 attempts, the paper in which you have got exemption, that mark will not be considered. Remaining paper, you have to get each individual paper 50% marks. Suppose you pass intermediate, you have completed articleship, you have completed that soft skill and online paced, self-paced module, but you are not able to pass the CA final. There may be possibility you have not been able to pass the CA final, then you can apply and get a certificate called BAA, BA. What is BA? Business Accounting Associate. So you will be given some sort of qualification degree which you can show to the industry that yes, I have got this business accounting associate criteria, but you are not a CA, you are a semi-CA, half CA. One of the major changes they have brought is in practical training. Practical training is only for 2 years instead of 3 years, but now you don't get leaves. You will only get 12 leaves per year. That is a total of 24 leaves in 2-year time. Okay, you can start articleship only after passing the 2 groups of intermediate. Whether you are a foundation candidate or a direct entry candidate, this is an important change for direct entry candidate. Even a direct entry candidate means a graduate also have to pass, a graduate student also has to pass the 2 groups of intermediate before he can start the articleship. An intermediate student also, they have to pass both the groups before they can start the articleship. You can undergo industrial training also if you want. You can go and work in corporate companies, industries in the last 9 months to 12 months of your articleship and enjoy the articleship stipend will be double now in the proposed scheme. In order to improve the soft skills, knowledge about information technology, there are 2 soft skill course and 2 ITTs like present. Only after completing this, you will be able to appear for the final exam. Then there is a requirement of COP, but that I am not going to discuss right now. It is a long journey before you can apply for COP. What are the papers for foundation course? First paper accounts 100 marks. Second, there is a change here. Now it will only comprise of business laws for 100 marks. And whatever communication or correspondence was there, that subject they have removed. Paper 3 as usual, 100 marks QA, quantitative aptitude consisting of business mathematics, logical reasoning and statistics like the present one. The first and second paper will be subjective, descriptive answer, and paper 3 and 4 would be objective, MCQs. So in paper 4 also there is a change. Now it will be only business economics for 100 marks, 100% MCQ, negative marking. Intermediate, there has been a significant change. Amazingly, they have done a great thing by first reducing the number of subjects. Otherwise, it was an overload on the intermediate student because the syllabus was very vast, very complicated. Question paper in the exam was also very tricky. So this is a good thing they have done by reducing the number of papers in the intermediate exam. It will comprise of 2 groups, group 1 and group 2. Group 1 will be advanced account. So that accounts in group 1 will be now known as advanced account for 100 marks. So you will not have 2 accounts paper in intermediate. You will have only 1 advanced accounting paper which will comprise of the syllabus of earlier, whatever was there in group 1 plus group 2 accounts, they have been merged and they will ask you one paper only, advanced account. Second paper is only corporate law now. There won't be any business law because business laws will be fully shifted to foundation course. And paper 3 is cost and management accounting, same 100 marks. The syllabus they have not yet published, syllabus will be published later. Group 2 of intermediate, very important, you will enjoy the paper 4 in group 2 will be taxation consisting of direct tax and indirect tax. Paper 5 will be auditing and code of ethics. So that code of ethics they have introduced, this paper 100 marks, and paper 6A 50 marks will be financial management, and 6B strategic management for 50 marks. So what they have removed in intermediate, please listen, instead of 2 accounts paper, there will be 1 account paper. EIS subject has been removed. Economics for finance subject has been removed. So this way the load of the student has been reduced and non-core subjects they have removed. So you can concentrate on the core subjects at intermediate level. Then there will be self-paced online module. That is, those who have qualified intermediate exam, they have to complete this 4 self-paced online module. It has 4 sets. Set A is economic laws and it will be compulsory. Set B will be strategic cost management and performance evaluation. This is also compulsory. Law and SCMP would be compulsory self-paced online module. You can study at your own pace, you can appear anytime online. The marks will not be counted for the final exam, but you need to pass these papers in order to be eligible for final exam. Then set C gives you an option, okay, and you have to choose any one of these set C subjects. The subjects are like risk management, integrated and sustainability reporting, government accounting and public finance, introduction to digital ecosystem and transformation, international taxation, arbitration, mediation and conciliation, forensic audit, financial service and capital market, valuation, forex and treasury management. So out of this 10 you have to choose one under set C, and in set D also there are 5 papers and you have to choose only one and pass this before you appear for final exam. And the options are Constitution of India, psychology, entrepreneurship, communication and philosophy also. Oh my God, they should have put something more also. Philosophy, psychology, cooking, okay, that was only pending. Maybe in the next round. Final course, this is one of the major changes I would say in the whole thing. Now it will have only 6 subjects, group 1, group 2. Group 1 has 3 subjects. First subject is same financial reporting. Group second paper, instead of strategic financial management, now it will be advanced financial management. We have to see what would be the change in the syllabus. Every time they change the name, but the content more or less remain the same in the CA final financial management paper. And the third paper I think would remain more or less the same, advanced auditing and professional ethics. Oh, something is missing. Where is the law? Law is not there in this main course. Law has gone into self-paced online module now. Then group 2 of final would comprise of direct tax law and international taxation, 100 marks. Same paper right now, indirect tax, 100 marks. And one more new subject they have added, that is integrated business solution, which is nothing but multidisciplinary case study with strategic management. So at present in the optional paper of final there is a multidisciplinary case study. Now that will become a compulsory paper. Institute has found that when it was given as an optional paper, nobody was opting for it. Most of the student will opt for easy papers like risk management or law or maybe FSCM. nobody was opting for it. Now you can't run, you can't hide, you have to take it. Okay, so where is the costing? The costing paper or SCMP paper has become a self-paced online module, but that is mandatory, and if you don't pass it, then you will not be able to appear for the exam. So this is a diagrammatic presentation. In order to join the foundation course, you can register after your 10th examination and passing the 10th standard examination, but you can appear for the exam only after completing 4 months of study and appearing for the 12th standard exam. For direct entry route, those who don't want to appear for foundation, or those who have not joined foundation but later on they think that yes, now we can do CA, they can enroll in the final year of their graduation, complete 8 months of study, and then they can appear for the intermediate exam. So now there is a very good news for the direct entry people. Immediately after your graduation, if you have completed 8 months of study, you can take a provisional admission, complete 8 months of study before your graduation gets over, and immediately after your graduation the next exam you can take and you can pass that exam, and I will tell you within 6 months you will be in CA final. Oh my God, that's a great news. And then in CA final you have to do 2 years of articleship plus 6 months gap, which means now in the present system, trust me, you can become a chartered accountant in 2.5 years after passing your graduation, which earlier it was used to take at least 4.5 years. So for the direct entry route, there can be a saving of almost 2 years. And now I believe a lot of people who are joining for MBA and other courses, now they can join CA course and they can complete the entire CA course in 2.5 years or 3 years after graduation. So that will be a great thing for the direct entry route. Then after your intermediate, 2 years of practical training, then 4 self-study module, advanced ITT soft skill training, plus 6 months of gap, and then you can appear for the CA final exam. So this is about your entire curriculum. Okay, then there are many other details which you can refer in the institute's website. So the major changes are foundation course, certain subjects have been removed, minimum 50 marks in each paper, MCQ will be having negative mark. Intermediate, 2 papers are reduced, there will be only 6 papers now. In CA final, 2 papers have been reduced, there will be 6 papers now, and there will be 4 self-study module. After completing articleship, self-study module, ITT and soft skill training, then only you can appear for the CA final exam. So these changes are made for the betterment of the student, to make our course in line with the international courses, and hopefully this will attract more and more students towards the CA course. So dear student, thank you very much for watching this video, and share this video with your other friends. Subscribe to YouTube channel AS Foundation. Thank you very much.